Just imagine, it's 2015 and you finally decided to bite the bullet, scratch the itch and put an order in for a brand new Boxster. You've read the online reviews, you've watched some videos, you've looked at the brochure and you've scrimped and saved your pennies. You've run the man maths too and you've realised that a GTS is just about within reach with all the extra goodies that comes with a standard. But for the rest of the options list, well, that's just about beyond your budget. So you run the numbers one final time and realise that Carmine Red, heated seats and PCM are just about within reach. You place your order and happy days. 10 years later, and this owner of your new car, well, he's somewhat disappointed that you didn't stretch to the extra £257 for the cruise control. But no matter, it's still available, and in this video I'm going to show you how we can install it back into the GTS. It's just going to cost me a little bit more than that. Welcome to Project 981 and welcome back to the channel. Now, in one of those curious life quirk fate moments, we have in this household 3 cars that were all made in 2015. A little daily run around, a Hyundai i20 which came as standard with cruise control. A BMW 3 Series Touring which came as standard with cruise control. And a Boxster GTS which came as standard with a plastic blanking plate on the steering column. Yes, Porsche is not known for its generosity, and despite the extra spec that came as standard on the GTS, one of the reasons Porsche makes lots of money is because it holds back some of those goodies that other manufacturers include as standard. So that's a point docked for Porsche, but we give that point back because, to their credit, it's still possible to buy a huge number of their bits, parts, trims, specs and options 10 years later, OEM, and to have them fitted to the car. And that's what I'm going to do to my GTS. Now, I've spoken before in previous videos about one of the qualities of this car, and it would apply to the Cayman too, that I really enjoy, and that's the sort of dual personality. It's both a super sharp sports car, and we can make it variously sharp and sharper by pressing combinations of the buttons down here. But when you're in a chill mood, it can also be a really comfortable GT car, even with the slightly long gearing on the manual and with the extra wind noise from the roof, although the roof is pretty good. Nonetheless, it does GT pretty well. And I enjoy using cruise control on my BMW, and it doesn't come as standard on the GTS. But as I said before, we can retrofit it, and that's what I plan to do today. So it's a mixture of hardware and software. Now, this little plate here would ordinarily have a 4th stalk, 1, 2, 3 for the onboard computer, and the 4th stalk down here, which could either be for cruise control or voice control, or if you've got voice control, it can do cruise control as well. But the point is you need the extra stalk. And then, as is often the case, and if you're a regular viewer, you'll know that I've demonstrated this in previous videos, the software is built into the car and just needs to be turned on, code enabled. So you need to code enable software, but actually rather than buying an extra stalk, you buy this whole, kind of pointing it out, this whole unit, in fact not the shrouds but the piece underneath, and you get not only a new stalk here, you get a whole complete set, and that adds the physical hardware. And then you plug in PWIS through the port down there, you find the setting, you turn it on, and you hope it all works, and you go out and do a test drive and happy days. And all the lights that come on when you enable it are already set into the dashboard. So it's one of those classic things where Porsche recognised that it might be desirable to have it easily fitted retrospectively, but they won't give it to you effectively free of charge from new. So I'm heading back to Pi Performance in Suffolk near Sudbury to get that fitted. The guys there have done it before, they know how it works, and they've treated me very well on previous visits. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. And hopefully when you next join me, we'll be able to have a little look around the workshop. The car will be in there. We've got the pieces ordered. We'll get them on the car. We'll plug in PWIS and make it all work. Now you might be thinking to yourself at this point, Christian, why do you keep adding things to your car? Why didn't you buy the correct spec in the first place? And it's a good question. But the reality is, well, 2 things. The first is that I wasn't particularly hung up on an ideal spec. I knew I wanted manual, and actually the standard spec in the GTS is pretty good, at least for the key driving features, PASM, Sport Chrono, and so on and so forth. And you know what? I just thought this will do. It's good enough. The second point, which is definitely a thing is that actually there may not be a manual GTS in the UK with cruise control. Okay, it's probably unlikely. I think most owners did spec it from new. But if they've got any sense, they'll keep hold of it. And when I was in the market for my car, well, I never came across one. Finding the manual alone was good enough for me. And if you've been watching my previous videos, you know, well, it has been fun adding those different options and spec to make the car very much my GTS. So enough waffle from me, enough chit chat. Let's get over to Pi. Let's get the car into the workshop and let's get cruise control fitted to the GTS. Right, here we are at Pi and the car is sort of partway through being readied. Obviously I say obviously because you may not realise this, but the steering wheel has to come off to do this because the replacement part, that's the original part, that bit there, has to be threaded down the steering column, which requires the wheel to come off, which requires the airbag assembly to come off, and that is what we are faced with. Actually, that's my mistake, that's the new one, the old one is still here, so Billy is going to take that off any second now. Bit of shroud, top, bottom, and then there's all sorts of complicated springs and bits and pieces in here which need to be treated with respect, otherwise they can get a bit angry and unwind and problems happen. Right, so Billy's joined me. Billy's going to talk us through how this works. So obviously the steering wheel's come off.
So originally took off, let me just find it, the airbag
here,
yes,
that comes out
which requires a little special hole in the bottom of the steering wheel. See there?
Oh, there, yes.
And then
that's what pops.
essentially you just put a tool up there, something that'll fit up there,
and pop it
which
out.
pushes that spring, that one right there.
Oh yes, okay.
And that releases it. Getting someone else to sort of grab it helps.
Oh, okay, so
helps
it does
massive.
pop out.
It's a two-man job.
Okay, and it pops
for such
out.
a small part.
Yeah.
Let's took that off. Then it has a big nut in there, which is a multi-spline.
Yep. Which is doing the hard work of keeping the wheel on the shaft.
Essentially, yeah. And yeah, these are on little clips.
Yeah.
For the shroud
I'm
in there.
familiar with some of those bits.
There and there.
Taken other bits off.
You then
myself.
got, I believe there was 1, 2, and then there's 2 torque screws underneath.
Oh yes, okay.
Which is very hard to see, but
yeah, it's all upside
goes
down.
up there basically.
Yep.
It's easier just to leave it hanging.
Yeah, fine.
For now. And then the next process will be take the clock spring off, which will pull off like so. Take the old stalk off.
Yep.
To
put the new one on.
Fit the new one on with the cruise control.
Yeah.
And that should be as simple, and then code in.
Encode it, yes. So the clock spring is a curious. I think literally sort of hand wound clocks, but what does that do? Does that sort of transfer the movements from the? I don't know, what does it do? Why is that something we have to be careful of?
Chris will be a better person to
I'll ask
explain
him,
it. He knows the technical sort of side of it to me. Like
I'll tap him.
But I've had him especially on 996s and stuff.
Yes.
Where it will just.
It's literally.
It will go.
It is a spring. It will unwind itself.
More or less, once it's gone, you're
buggered.
You just buy a new one. It's the easiest way around it is just to buy a new one.
Goodness me. Okay.
Yeah, because on the 996 ones, they actually have a set like a tag on the new ones.
So
once you've fitted it in the correct position, you take the tag off and that's on.
And it's then
walk away from it and hope for the
comes
best.
onto it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Right, Billy. So you've got the clock spring mechanism loosened off. So
yep.
What you've just run me through it. Let's just have a look again. So what's the next part of the sequence is?
To get the clock spring off, there's 2 clips on here, one on here, one on the other side, identical, and a small torque screw
just underneath
down the bottom there. 2 electrical plugs.
Oh yeah, so they come off the back
from the column, which is not the easiest to get off. That then slides off, so we can just let it hang down there.
Oh, yes, okay.
And then the actual stalk itself is on. Does he show on this bit?
Oh yes, there you go.
Held on the column.
It, yeah. Okay.
With that 5mm Allen key there.
Fine. So that will just.
And it's all splined, as you can see in there. That's the locator there.
Oh yeah, so you can't get it wrong really.
Try not to.
You could force it on the other way. Then you were saying it also then sits at the correct depth. Which makes
so it literally just bottoms out and it's in place.
Brilliant.
So that then comes off.
So this is the bits. This is where.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. So really is the steering column is literally a column of metal, quite a complicated column of metal. There it is. Yeah.
Easy as that.
That's good, isn't it? Oh, you made it look so smooth. Brilliant. Right, I'll let you bolt it up. Good man, thank you. Right, so everything has gone back on, as you can kind of see, and we have a steering wheel and 4 columns. So Billy's now we've got P-Wish plugged in, which goes into the footwell down
OBD
there. Yeah, exactly that. So, just briefly, what do the software is kind of in the car?
Yeah, so just identified there's a 981, gone into it, and then this is your list of the modules, which has many,
yeah, I remember
many a
doing this
module.
before. There's a huge number of different controllers, lots of different settings in those. So
yeah,
it sort of goes on and
so
on and on.
in theory, so I have actually ran through and deleted the fault codes already.
Okay.
I'm a bit ahead here.
Oh, okay, no,
but
fine,
obviously
good.
I've had stuff off, so
yes,
just
yeah. I mean,
remove the faults.
and certainly we don't. I'm not expecting to see the full process here, but it's sort of the basics really.
So yeah, B, steering wheel electronics.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to go to maintenance repairs. Obviously beforehand you would go to fault memory, but the fault memory in there is coding anyway, so it knows it's not coded right.
Okay. Oh, I'm with you. So you power the car up, it sees as a fault.
It tells you,
which you know,
it knows
if
the coding's not in there for
yeah,
it.
that's it.
Which makes life easier. Do you know if it's the 454 or the 456?
That's
adaptive?
not the adaptive.
No, it's just automatic.
No, because that has a whole load of extra stuff with it.
Steering wheel should be set to same steering wheel.
Yeah.
There we go. Right, coding's been completed
Got a little tick.
successfully.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah. I'll be very surprised if it's that easy, but
I know, nothing in life is ever as easy as it should be.
Right, so that's on manual coding. So let's go back to maintenance repairs just to see if I can do the function. If not.
So as we come back through Long Melford, I had hoped to be able to show you my lovely cruise control working. We've got all the hardware installed, and actually it's worth saying at this point that the action, the indicator action, the stalk action is ever so slightly nicer. That's the benefit of having an entirely new part. But we don't have, and Porsche have changed the system, we don't have working cruise control because it hasn't got a code. It needs a code. So we've told the car, but he was able to tell the car that cruise control is fitted and that it was the standard version rather than the adaptive version. But the car needs a final code, which has to come from Germany of all places, funnily enough actually, to make it work. And as I understand it, that wasn't always the case, and the process has recently changed. And well, we can have a separate conversation about Porsche's control of the after sales network. But I have got 4 stalks, but I don't have working cruise control. So I just have to pretend that it's all working until I can nip back to see Chris and the team at Pi to get that sorted. But the roof is down, the sun is out, the car sounds great, so, you know, happy days. So, to be continued. Hoping we get a run, but I don't think we're going to. I'm going to assume to have a go. And see if he lets me up the hill. So, as the caption says, sometime later, for various practical reasons, but also because of a bit of a delay in getting this code through from Germany, which is not what we were expecting. So I'm hoping to try and understand that in a little bit more detail today in conversation with Chris. But I'm going back to Pi, let's code enable the cruise control and hopefully do some cruising. So I'm back at Pi, we've got the cruise control working, and I've grabbed Chris, who's the boss. Chris, good afternoon.
Hi, Chris. The boss.
The boss.
Sometimes it doesn't feel like it.
No, there we go. You're doing a good job.
Dog's body.
So when I was here last time, I asked you about the clock spring, and you gave me a very brief description. When I was here getting the hardware fitted, Billy showed me how that fits as sort of a piece of the column.
Yeah.
What does it do?
So, in very basic layman terms, it transfers the electronic control through the steering column. so the steering wheel can turn.
Yep. Okay.
That sounds very basic, but obviously has a lot of functions. So, for example, it's the connection for your airbag to ignite and go off.
Oh yes, that makes
Any
sense.
functionality, if you've got a multifunction steering wheel, that will go through the clock spring, same as your stalks and everything like that.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's just a switch. It's not. It's a series of coils inside it.
Yes.
And you have to be very careful when you take the steering wheel off. So one of the things Billy would have done when he was fitting the stalks for your cruise control is to make sure steering wheel centred, but also to make sure the clock spring is also centred. Because if that comes off and coils out of control, which I've seen it done and got the T-shirt, it's basically scrap.
So it is literally, it's like you see in the back of a watch or an actual clock, a big...
If you took it apart, you'd see a spiral of coils literally around it. But they're under tension.
Yes.
And they have to be sat in a certain position. So when they come from factory, if you're replacing it, they come set at top dead centre, what we call it, almost like an engine.
GDC sort of thing,
Yeah. But if you let go of that wrong and don't secure it, it will literally unwind. And once it's unwound, the only thing it's fit for is the bin.
Oh, God.
But it sounds a very simple switch. And in layman terms, it really is.
Yes.
But if you've got to think of it from a safety viewpoint, if that's not right...
It's quite critical, isn't it?
Exactly. And you could get failure of the airbag, or even worst case, which I've never seen happen, but the airbag could ignite itself for no reason at all.
I guess you get an errant signal.
Yeah. And it's when you're fitting cruise control, yes, taking the steering wheel off and fitting the switches is relatively easy, but those clock springs don't just come off and go in one position. There is a set distance, so they have to be measured from the top of the steering column to make sure they've got the right clearance with the steering wheel.
Yeah, Billy was describing that.
Yeah, if you put it too tight, they'll sit on the back of the steering wheel and they'll make a horrible noise and they won't be effective. And again, it comes down to passenger safety.
Doesn't work. Yeah, brilliant. And the other thing we encountered, which is the reason I've come back today, is that none of us were expecting, least of all, I think, you, that we had to have rather than just flicking a switch in PUs, we had to get a code from Porsche. So is that a new thing? How does it work?
So Porsche's always updating the Pyrrhus system.
Yes.
We've updated ours, I think, last June to the Pyrrhus 4. So we always try.
Okay.
Yeah, we always try and run the latest version of what Porsche are doing.
Yeah.
But Porsche recently have changed their protocols, how things work, and they have what they call the PPN, which is the Porsche Partner Network.
Oh yes, that's right.
Which we can connect to. We have an allowance to connect to that. But of course, Porsche aren't going to give us independents all the functionality and operation.
Fine.
One of the things, going back to the clock spring, some of this is built into it because it is occupant safety and things like that.
Oh yes, okay.
For example, the problem we had with your cars, we needed an enabling code,
yes,
which we haven't come up across on your year before.
Right, okay.
We have come up at it in the past. So in 2013, some of the 981s were built with a K prefix in the chassis number.
Right.
Which means they were built not in a normal Stuttgart factory.
Yep.
Now, to fit cruise control to those models, very simple, but we have to do a software update on the ECUs to allow us to retrofit cruise and code it. Okay. So in that instance, we've seen an enabling code.
Yes.
But with yours, it should have been a matter of additional menu, selecting the function, automatic coding, letting it process, and the next thing, drive down and it works.
Yes.
Well, this one, it wouldn't.
No. Because we could successfully tell the car it had a new column system, but then we couldn't turn the cruise on effectively.
Yes, yeah. So effectively, it was activated. Fine. But Porsche have introduced an enabling code. Right. Again, it's for control and safety. Which we had to have generated by Porsche. Which took slightly longer than we would hope for, but we've now got it. And obviously, you returned today. We've gone back in. We've double checked the functionality is active, which we knew last time, but we have checked it. That still is. Yes. We've now gone in, we've now enabled it with the enabling code from Porsche, and it's now active and all working. Yeah, perfect. So you can go away and enjoy your cruise control finally.
That's brilliant. Chris, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah. So on my way back now from Pi, I've rigged up the GoPro. I've got a little bit of audio running, and we are about to join a brief section, or briefly join, I should say, a section of the A14, and I will hopefully use cruise control. Now, Adam, the technician who did my work, had already checked it, so we kind of do know it works. But basically, I've got a convenient stop here. I've got a lovely new stalk down here. You press the end of that, and that kind of turns the system on, powers it up. And then to set the speed you want to cruise at, you simply push the lever away from you, and that sets it. and then you can then add speed by pushing it again incrementally. You can take speed off by pulling it towards you, and then you can just tap it down once to cancel it. Dipping the clutch and putting your foot on the brake will also cancel it. It's kind of completely normal cruise control behavior. It's not adaptive, so this is just standard fixed speed. Right, so we've got it turned on. I'll tell you what I'll also turn on, sports exhaust. I'll turn auto start stop off. Now, I'm not going to go crazy down here, but we'll get up onto the dual carriageway. Nice bit of flat six there. Right, what do we got? Yeah, not bad. Okay, so I'm going to short shift into fifth. Onto the 14. I'm going to stick it at 65. There we go. So pushing the lever away. Cruise control is set. Actually says it's set at 64. And well, I'm not going to do hands off, but I'm feet off, and it works. Now I can see there's a lorry ahead, so I'm going to now indicate and pull out, avoid that lisser. And if you just tap it down, it disengages, which is great. And now I'm going to reset by pushing away, and it's taken up the new speed. That's 59. If I give it a little push away again, it'll add 1 mile an hour, one increment to the cruise control speed. So I'm in 6th gear, so this is as good as it gets. We are stuck behind that lovely lorry, so that 60 is entirely appropriate. And happy days, I've got cruise control. Brilliant, very happy with that. And the sun's out, and the roof is down. We're doing some decent Boxstering. Right, tap it down because I'm coming up a little bit faster now. And as long as the system's active, so you have the little graphic in the display down here, then simply pushing up will take you back to the set speed. Pushing away from you will set a new speed, and then you can go from there. Now, I need to leave the A14 fairly shortly, and knowing how this junction works, I'm going to pull over here. Now that gives me the opportunity to set a new speed. I'm still in sixth gear, bear in mind it's a manual. Let's push away now. We'll take a new speed. That's 49, roughly the speed I'm travelling at with this current lorry. Let's now go to the trip computer. I don't have a live MPG readout, do I? Okay, so it doesn't work, but I'm rather hoping we're getting some awesome MPG now, driving a 50. I'm just going to go up to 50 actually. There we go. Lovely. So, ladies and gentlemen, OEM cruise control fitted and working perfectly, so happy days. This feels like a good time to end the video actually, so my thanks to Adam, the technician who helped me today, to Billy who got the hardware installed. My thanks to Chris for getting it set up and for a little chat about how it all works. I'm going to squeeze the throttle, get myself up this junction. If you've enjoyed this, do consider subscribing to the channel, more to come. But in the meantime, as ever, thank you for watching. And from the POV of the driver's door, it's a good afternoon from me, and I'll see you for the next one.